this right here was the exact moment I entered this DEX 1500 down trade, but the entry wasn't based on a guess. There were a few things happening right here that gave me the confirmation I was looking for, and this is what happened after the trade played out. So how did I go from the setup to this particular result? In this video I'm going to break down exactly what I saw, why I entered where I did, and the lesson this DEX 1500 down trade gave me. What's going on, guys? So today is Tuesday the 19th of August, and we are about to analyze DEX 1500 down. Okay, this one right here, DEX 1500 down. This is an index provided by Deriv broker. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so starting on the weekly, this is what we have. Price has been printing higher highs, and this previous week price failed to close above this high right here. It bottomed out right around there and then closed low, took out the low of the other week, but still closed within this week. Okay, so let's scale down to the daily time frame, and this is what we have on the daily time frame. Okay, so price broke this level, went higher. If we just zoom in a little bit, this is what we have here on the daily. So we have this major daily level right here. Okay, right at the bottom there we have this major low that we have not breached. Okay, so price broke this high right there. It broke that high, it retested. Then after retesting, price decided to make this flag right there and then continue to the upside. Okay, so after price did that, price came back down to the downside and took out this low right there. But take note of this, right after price took out this low, it didn't close on the other side, but instead it closed to the upside. Okay, it closed within this range whenever it took out that low the first time and the second time. Okay, when it took out the liquidity that's around this area, we closed to the upside. And notice that after taking out this liquidity, when this kind of took out the liquidity, it closed with an indecisive candle. Okay, the biggest wick was left to the downside, showing that we have got more buying pressure going to the upside. So with that in mind, and the fact that the previous week failed to close above the level, okay, we know that on the weekly we still might have some pressure to carry us up to the upside. Okay, but then we'll still be cautious, like what if the fact that we didn't close above this level on the weekly might mean that we are slowly transitioning to the downside. So with that in mind, we shall not aim for the highest point, but rather for a point that is just within. So here, if we look at this leg right around there, we can notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days all been just tapping into this area right around there, this figure. They've just been tapping up down around that figure. Okay, this is 3.8, somewhere around 3.8400. Okay, somewhere there. That's a round number that price is tapping on and just was rebounding off of. So with that in mind, let's take our high, our range high, okay, which is this one, the highest point of our range, and the lowest point right there. Okay, so with those points marked up, we can then switch to a lower time frame, which is the H4 in this case, and then on this time frame, this is what we have. So once price, we can now look at the price action on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, this is what we have. Price dropped down low, made a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right around, yeah, right around there, lower low. Then we took out this high. This leg right here took out this high, signaling that price is about to switch direction. Okay, so this is a sign that price is switching direction. And then remember, on the daily time frame, we had that indecisive doji candle pointing to the upside, showing that bullish momentum to the upside is starting to step in. Okay, so before we go to the upside, price has to retest. And then if we look closely, it's very clear to see that price has retested at a fair value gap right there. So price has reacted to this fair value gap and then pushed higher. So now with that in mind, all that's left for price to do is follow through to the upside. So if we look at the left, the leg that's right here that carried us to the downside, we notice that we've got a fair value gap right there. And for those who aren't aware, price actually reacts to and also gets pulled towards fair value gaps. So it tends to react when it hits a fair value gap, and it's also drawn to them at the same time. Okay, so a fair value gap is made up of 3 candles. Let me just delete these arrows and make it clear for you. So it's made up of 3 candles. In this case, this is our first candle, this is our second one, this is our third one. So you'll notice that on the first candle, the low of this first candle, that's right there, doesn't touch the high of the third candle. Okay, and then the candle in the middle was an impulsive one. So this space between the first candle's low and the third candle's high, this is our indecisive area, and that area is referred to as a fair value gap. Price is attracted to it and also reacts whenever it touches that. Okay, so with that in mind, we can combine that with the area that we drew on the daily, where price has been reacting to. This one, 38,400. So that's a round number. That's literally what price is drawn to. And then on top of that, just before this level, we have got a fair value gap, and we know that price is mostly drawn towards fair value gaps. Okay, so those are 2 reasons for us to look towards going bullish or going to the upside right now. So let's scale down to the hourly time frame and see what we are presented with on there. Okay, so on the hourly, this is what we have. This is the setup that we have. Okay, so price broke this level, so this is a market structure shift. Okay, then we reacted when we hit this level. This is the fair value gap. Okay, we reacted and we also took out some liquidity around there, and we also took out liquidity there. So notice this, we took out liquidity there and we closed above. Price then went back to the downside. Okay, we have a fair value gap here that price seems to be reacting to, and we also have this area of interest, which is an order block, this order block right there that price seems to be reacting to as well. So if we're to take a setup here or take a trade, it would look like this. We'd have our entry right there, our stops right below there, okay, and our take profit somewhere around this level or around that level for a 1-to-2 minimum. Okay, 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio. And from there, we just have to be patient. Price will either take us out or it will go up and hit our TP. The only thing that's left to do is be patient. So I'm actually considering taking this entry right now, and we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, after some time, after a couple of hours. So it's 4 in the morning. Let's just keep on pushing, guys. Let's keep on pushing. I believe in everyone on this channel and everyone who's tuned in. If you've gained some knowledge or some insight from the way I look at the charts and my point of view when it comes to reading the charts, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll catch you on the next one. Stay safe, stay blessed, and keep on striving to be better in your trading journey and everything else in life. Stay blessed, guys.